This is News Today live from our studios here at Kokomlemle in Accra. I am Razak Musbao. In our headlines this hour, fear grips residents of Sefi Wenchi in Western North region following the emergence of a newly born sheep with horrific defects, including conjoined heads, 4 eyes, and double nose. We have details for you as pathologists at the KNUST says we should be expecting more of these deformities due to pollution of water bodies by heavy metals. And also, illegal miners invade Tano and Wea Forest Reserve, destroys lands as big as 7 football fields. And in the NPP Parliamentary Primaries Vetting Committee, Sammy Binfoh Darkwa trashes K.T Hammond's petition for disqualification. We're on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. And around the world, we are myjoyonline.com. Please do stay. Now, an illegal miner has invaded the Tano and Wea Forest Reserve, a key biodiversity area of international significance, destroying more than 7 football fields of the protected forest in the western region. Now, Johnny's inquiries reveal the Enchi district of the Forestry Commission knew about the mining activity months earlier, but failed to act or trigger the necessary protocols to stop the illegality. Now, the degraded site is worse compared to what Akonta Mining's illegal invasion did to the Tano Nimri Reserve. Lava FM's Erastus Asaridonko was in Tano and Wea Forest Reserve and filed this report.
The Tano and Wea Forest Reserve in the Awin municipality covers part of the watershed of the Tano River. It was gazetted as a forest reserve in 1955. Experts say it meets one or more previously established criteria for identified sites of biodiversity importance, including important bird and biodiversity areas. But this evergreen forest is in for its worst nightmare. An illegal miner has already invaded compartments 74 and 75 of the reserve. Large parts of the forest have already been reduced to pits and gullies. The devastation stretches deep into the reserve. Our investigations established that the Enchi District Forestry Commission knew about this nature crime 3 months back. But it was only on November 29th this year that the Enchi Forestry Commission head, Richard Entry, wrote about it to his officers, describing it as an attempted illegal mining. On December 17th this year, his deputy, ADM Felix, led the rapid response team to arrest the miners, 1 Chinese national and his 5 Ghanaian collaborators. They have all since been released on bail and their equipment released to them as recounted by this eyewitness.
At the time they came, there were 2 excavators here working. They did not take any action, but rather asked the illegal miners to take their equipment from the site and leave.
When we visited the reserve on December 22nd this year, we found evidence the miners have not left. We saw signs of continuous occupation and mining.
What we are seeing here is a brand new, unused gold washing plant. And it tells you or gives you the indication that whoever was mining illegally within this part of the forest reserve has no intentions of leaving the place forever. They intend to come back to further deplete this forest reserve.
Contrary to the usual Forestry Commission's rapid operations on illegal miners, power plants and settlements of the illegal miners were left untouched.
You could see where they do the washing and get the gold finally that is still intact, not destroyed. So this is the engine room where a lot of the operations, the central point of the operations happens. And you ask yourself, why did the Forestry Commission Rapid Task Force that came in here on the 17th of December decide not to burn or destroy this particular place?
I confronted the two forest guards tasked to deal with the nature crime in the forest.
Last time I buy and you say yes, you know, a rapid phone bubu bia, but a na so no me as a young comra. See, it is more bad beauty and no more. They
say who's or more, and I think say immediately you should destroy it.
Yes, Timmy Qua, my bomb manager maniana by Friday, no answer what's in a ground, bit my public action.
2 days after our visit, the Ancient District sent forest guards to go and burn the materials left behind. We learned that an NPP executive in the area was responsible for the mining in the Tano Anya Forest Reserve. When we contacted him, he claimed his mining was in a farm-admitted part of the forest. He would, however, not confirm he had a license or any permit for his mining activities. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Tanonya Forest Reserve, Western Region.
Away from that, a young mother whose child has been struck with a rare disease commonly described as water in the brain is appealing for help from well-wishers to help with the treatment of her 2-year-old daughter. Vida Edubia, a resident of Nkranza in the Bono East region, explained that her husband left her because of her daughter's condition, and she has since been struggling to raise an amount of money needed to conduct surgery on her, and therefore appeal to the public for support. Anat Sabit has more.
Often called water on the brain, hydrocephalus can cause babies and young children's head to swell to make room for excess cerebrospinal fluid. This life-threatening condition often forms when a blockage to the normal flow of the cerebral spinal fluid results in a buildup of pressure, which eventually pushes the soft skull outwards, creating an enlarged head and putting pressure on the brain. This pressure, if not relieved, can cause blindness, brain damage, and eventually death. Now, more than 2 years after the birth of Ajapoma Blessing, who has since been battling with hydrocephalus, she's unable to sit, crawl, or walk, and as a result, need the attention of a single mother whose husband left her as a result of little Ajapoma's condition. Vida Edubia broke down into tears when I asked what she's been going through as a result of her baby's condition. I'm going through a lot and I need help. I currently have no one to look after, so I can't come in because there's going through a lot. Even not to eat is a challenge. Vida, before the birth of her sick child, used to sell drinking water, and her daughter's condition has pushed her out of business as she's unable to go to the market, leaving behind her 2-year-old daughter. I used to sell water before, but I'm out of business because of my baby's condition. I am unable to go out and sell. She has spent everything on her visiting the hospital, and even though health experts say a successful surgery could help save her daughter's life, Vida tells me what to eat now is even a challenge. I have no one to support her. My husband left me because of her condition. Even the treatment is a problem, and I have no one to support me. While Ebenezer is a nursing officer and the assistant in charge of the emergency unit of the Nkranza St. Teresa's Hospital, he says little Blessing has been on a mission for the past 2 months.
We introduced this patient with the name Blessing Ajapoma. She has been here for almost 2 months now. Yeah, she was diagnosed with hydrocephalus, and we have done a first surgery on her. So current issue on her is that the patient is finding it difficult to settle the bills and then with the OP, the operation performed on her.
Nurses here sometimes have to contribute to support Vida to help pay for her bills.
So at times the nurses and then the ward doctors, we have to contribute and then support her with the bills. So we are just pleading to individuals to come on her aid.
Little Blessing has already undergone the first surgery, but sadly, the unavailability of money to pay for her bills means the second surgery cannot be conducted now, and a delay in doing so could cost Little Blessing her life.
According to our surgeon, they will do the second surgery again. So as it stands now, we can't really tell, depending on the financial constraint that they are passing through.
The current situation of Little Blessing is also affecting her mother psychologically, and an urgent attention needs to be given to enable a surgery that could help save her life.
In fact, it's very, very bad because already psychological effect comes in. Because looking at a baby for like her, most of the time, if you are a mother, definitely, even psychologically it will affect you. Her husband has left her because of the situation of the child. So all this come to play, and it affects even the mother herself and then the entire family.
Health experts here say an amount of 12,000 Ghana cedis will be enough to support Little Blessing's surgery, and your little contributions could help do the magic. Anna Sabit, Joy News, Nkranza.
Now, the New Patriotic Party's Vetting Committee in the Ashanti region has dismissed a petition seeking the disqualification of Sammy Binfoh Darkwa from the Adamsi Asokwa parliamentary race. Now, on the first day of vetting, the committee received a petition from 14 constituency executives and their Member of Parliament, K.T Hammond, seeking the disqualification of Deputy Managing Director of the Ghana Publishing Company. After hours of deliberation on the petition, the vetting committee cleared Mr. Binfoh Darkwa of all the allegations leveled against him. Let's first listen to K.T Hammond after being asked about the petition.
A petition I have cited is that you are seeking the disqualification of some of your opponents. Is that true?
Go to ask them if they know the constituency. Go to ask them what is it that they know about the constituency.
Now, joining us on Zoom is the man in question, Mr. Sammy Binfoh Darkwa. Mr. Sammy, thank you very much for joining us on News Today. I mean, first of all, what was your response to the allegations when you appeared before the committee? If you can unmute so we could hear you. So we will try and reconnect to Mr. Sammy over there, who was previously petitioned. Petition was put against him. Mr. Darkwa, who's... all right, so let's get back to him now. Mr. Darkwa, can you please tell us, what was your response to the allegations when you appeared before the committee, for which you were, relieved of all the allegations?
All right, thank you very much for the opportunity, and good afternoon to your listeners. As you rightly said, when I get to the committee, I was told that a petition has been sent against me. A petition signed by 14 people and also the Member of Parliament for Adamsi Asokwa. The issues were just two. One is that I had brought some pickup to support the constituency, and I'll come back for it. And the second point is that they say I have never contributed anything to the building of the party in the constituency. So my response is very simple. Somebody who has never contributed anything to the building of the constituency, is also being accused that he supported the constituency pickup and then came back for it. Or just contradictory. or something that, can be substantiated in any way. I have been a member of the party. I contested the member of parliament for Dansa Square in 2020. I was part of it was two-horse race. So somebody who contested and was clear to contest is now being told that you don't have the qualification to contest. I've supported the party. When we contested and I lost the elections, then the pickup I used for my campaign, I released it to the party, that the party use it to help with the campaign process towards the general election in 2020. Then after the general election, we won, and I went back for my pickup. They claim that I donated it. So I also challenged them that if they have any evidence to show that that pickup was a donation to them, anything at all, letter, video, voice note, whatever, they can come with it. And then I prove. They have none. When it comes to supporting the constituency, even the last election we held for the presidential race, where Dr. Balme became the president candidate, I cooked food for the whole constituency. I've donated a lot of things to the constituency. I've supported individuals in the constituency, where I could produce all the evidence that there was to produce. Based on that, the vetting committee said that the petition they brought held no water. Therefore, I was cleared to contest. We balloted, and I'm the number 4 on the ballot.
Mr. Darkwa, though, in terms of the allegations that they brought before the committee, did they provide any evidence to support the claims that they were making?
None. In fact, I asked them that if there's any evidence they can, adduce to show that what they are saying is true, they have none. But I rather pointed at them, constituency chairman, you have signed this. But you remember I supported the party in this way. When you were sent to a send-off to go and work for the party, I supported financially to go and do that work for the party. Then the committee asked him, did you receive it? He said, yes, I received it from Sammy. Constituency secretary, I supported it with this, doing this party activity. Did you receive it? He adduced, yes, I received it. Everything that every support that I've given to the party, the people were there, that they should find out from them whether they received it or not. So clearly, it was just an attempt by an individual who is afraid of a contest. Somebody whose mates are all going out of parliament. Somebody who claims that the youth has not got anything to offer, but then he was being vetted by the youth. In fact, Anabi was the chairman for the vetting committee. And then Idi Muhawidin also was a member. All of these people are youth. So instead of just owning up to contest to see what's going to happen, just want to run away from the contest.
Mr. Darkwa, all right, so now what next? Because you understand you've done the balloting and you're number 4 on the ballot. What next now that you've been cleared to contest and even the balloting haven't taken place?
So the next thing is that I'm going to embark on my campaign. But I'm hearing that he wants to send another petition to the national because he's not satisfied that the vetting committee has cleared me. So he won't take the next step, go to the national. I'm waiting for him. Nothing new will happen. Nothing new. Absolutely nothing new will happen.
So Darkwa, we appreciate your time on News Today over there. Well, my colleague Nana Boache Dankwa Yadom spoke to some aspirants earlier.
I'm very much prepared. For me, I think that it is just something that I don't want to use the word of formality because this is not going to be my first time going through such a process, even though this is my first time going to contest a parliamentary election. But I believe that whatever questions they are going to ask are questions that I'll be able to respond to. So I'm very much prepared and very confident.
You are the technical advisor at the office of the vice president. Somebody would want to ask, why are you leaving the office of the vice president to contest Asante Achimagogo?
I'm not leaving the office of the vice president. I'm rather going to contest Asante Achimagogo to become an MP to support my boss, who is going to be the next president of the Republic of Ghana.
I have gone through the vetting. I'm going to win this election hands down. It's my honor, and I'm the one going to lead Achimagogo come 2025. I am going to lead Achimagogo. I am going to Parliament 2025 and 2024 the primaries. I am going to win hands down. Esiama is not a match. As far as I've gone through this vetting, inshallah, I'm going to win.
The battle is the Lord's. And I can tell you that come 27th is going to be another resounding victory for the Kwame Esiama and NPP.
Are you retaining your seat?
Oh yes, very much so.
Now, Nana Boache is still there at the grounds in Kumasi, and he joins me live. Nana Boache, what more can you report for us on the second day of the vetting?
Day of the vetting for parliamentary candidate or aspirant in the Ashanti region has been smooth. Earlier on, we had the Member of Parliament for the Bantama constituency, Francis Asenso-Boakye, and his opponent, Raphael Ejapon, come through the vetting process. And so they were the first people to have been vetted today at the Ashanti regional head office of the New Patriotic Party. We also had the Member of Parliament for Kwadaso constituency, Kingsley Nyako, also passed through for his vetting. And also his opponents also came through for their vetting as well. Not long ago, we had the Member of Parliament for Achumampunia, Mr. Isaac Esiama, also passed through for his vetting. And so these big wings have passed through since morning for their vetting for the day 2 of the MPP's vetting for aspirants seeking to be members of Parliament on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. At the moment, aspirants seeking to take over the seat of Asante Achim Agogo are having their vetting. And so inside the vetting room, we have the Member of Parliament, incumbent Member of Parliament, Andy Apiakobi, having his vetting right now inside the NPP Ashanti Regional Head Office, alongside his opponents who are also taking, they are going through their vetting this afternoon at the first floor of the NPP Ashanti Regional Office. And so over here are supporters of the various aspirants who have filed their nominations to contest on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. As I said earlier, we have Kojoba Redu, he's over there, up there, and then very soon he would go in for his vetting. And so right after he's done with his vetting, we would get interactive with him. And then we're also waiting for the Member of Parliament himself, Andy Apiakobi. But I must say that Member of Parliament for Menchia North, Akwesi Kunedu, has been here and he has passed through the vetting, but he's not done yet. He's not out yet. When he comes out, we'll get interactive with him. But we have to speak to Collins Amankwa, who is also seeking to unseat the incumbent Member of Parliament for Menchia North, Akwesi Kunedu. Collins Amankwa has been Member of Parliament for Menchia North before. He's here. We'll get interactive with him and find out from him how the vetting process has been, if he's done, or how it looks like if he's to go through the process any moment from now. Honorable, thanks for joining us. You're live on Joy News. How has the vetting process been?
Well, having appeared before the vetting committee, I'm here to be ushered into vetting room, but the feeling is great. The spirit is high, and I'm very confident that I'm going to win come January 2027. Yes. Sorry, January
2024.
No.
7th December.
27 January.
Okay, you're winning on the 27th January and then subsequently on the 7th of December.
Sharp.
But you're coming up against your incumbent Member of Parliament, Akwesi Kunedu. How does it look like?
Well, I think when I was given the nod to lead the constituency as the Member of Parliament, I was able to transform the constituency. I was able to lobby a lot of projects, and as you can see, people are craving for my comeback, and that is the reason which has caused for this launch of comeback project. And wherever you go, they are saying Sankofa Collins, because they understand the dynamics on the ground. Having compared the two, they've come to conclusion that Collins provided strong leadership. He proved that indeed Collins is development-oriented person, and that is what people are saying wherever you go.
All right, thank you so much. And that's the former Member of Parliament for Menchia North, Collins Amankwa, who is here to face the vetting committee this afternoon. And so the situation on grounds here at the Ashanti Regional Head Office of the governing New Patriotic Party looks quite interesting. We're expecting Andy Apiakobi to also come out of the vetting room, and then we'll get to interact with him. And so this is the situation on grounds. Over to you.
Well, in the Greater Accra region, on day 1 of the vetting, there were accusations of grand schemes in favor of some sitting MPs, causing confusion in some areas. Here is a disqualified MPP parliamentary hopeful at the Ayawaso West constituency, Ayawaso West Wogan constituency, who is alleging the party offered him money to step down from the contest. Listen to Samuel Owusu Amankwa.
I know this is a grand scheme against the youth of Ghana. This is not just against Amankwa. This is just against the youth of Ghana, because I heard somebody say that you are too young. But I tell them, look at J.A. for His Excellency. He was a minister at the age of 28 When are the youth going to rise up and then take their future in their own hands? We are taking our future in our own hands now. I was told I will be paid for everything I spent on this campaign. Gentlemen, I'm not too rich. I don't have so much money. But what we are pushing for is not money. Look, people feel the youth of Ghana are all about money. No, it's about changing the status quo, changing the future of this country, taking the future into our own hands. That's what matters. It's not about what people are going to pay to us. I didn't go into this election because of my pockets. No. In all humility, I can feed myself, my family, and those who are in need.
Well, Samuel Usomankwa is expected to make a formal complaint to the Elections Appeals Committee. Now, Stanley Blewu is at the NPP headquarters and joins us via phone. Stanley, what can you report on day 2 of the exercise?
So I'm at the NPP head office here in Accra, and I must also say that the aggrieved parliamentary hopeful, that is Samuel Usomankwa, had come in to present his petition to the party's hierarchy. Earlier, the party's general secretary, JFK, Justin Fimponkodia, was around to receive the petition, but he refused to speak to the media, and then he left the office. According to the disqualified parliamentary hopeful, the reason for his disqualification has to do with the fact that he was being accused of not paying his dues. But he thinks that it goes beyond, because it goes beyond the payment of the dues. Because according to him, when you go through the party's records, there is nothing that shows that he's owing and that he has not paid any dues at all. And so he feels that the whole disqualification is a grand scheme just to get him off the race, so that his main contender, that is the incumbent member of parliament for the Ayawaso West Wagon, Lydia Seyram Alasan, would go unopposed. So in the petition that he presented to the party hierarchy, he is seeking one relief, and that is to get the vetting committee, or the committee that disqualified him, to reinstate him back into the race. So earlier he had alleged that some members of the party are willing to offer him monetary inducement, so that whatever expenses he had incurred regarding his campaign or his bid to contest for the parliamentary slot, they are going to pay him off. But he said, former president, I posed that question to him again, and he said he has engaged former president Ejekum Kufuor, who has told him that they should take caution about whatever he puts into the public domain, because the NPP is his party and he cannot say anything that will break the party, and so he should be very cautious. And so he's not going to say anything about who promised to offer him the monetary inducement, or what the reason behind why they wanted to offer him that monetary inducement, so that he will get off the race.
Well, Stanley, thank you very much for that update. Now, there is panic in Sefi Winchi in the Bibiani Ahwiaso Bekwai municipality in the Western North region after a sheep gave birth to a lamb-scary deformity. The lamb has conjoined heads, double nose, and 4 eyes. Listen to Municipal Veterinary Officer Dr. Kingsley Basau confirming the news.
At Sefi Winchi, a sheep gave birth to an offspring with 2 heads, 4 eyes, 2 ears, and a normal body. In the animal, this is the first time we've experienced something like that. But in human, it wasn't. It was a deformity, but it was just a leg. And for the animal, those at the vicinity are thinking maybe it's the gods that are punishing them. But for us, the vets, we know for sure that deformity comes because of 1 or 2 things. Something like the heavy metals in the water. When the animal drinks such water, there's possibility that there will be such deformities. there have been deformities, but it was different. Something like the leg is not there, those things, that is normal to them. But because this one is unique, they are thinking that the animal was alive as at yesterday. The problem is because the head was true, it was difficult for the animal to even stand.
Now, it's the first of such incident to be recorded in the community and has already sparked several interpretations, as some are already attributing it to a possible signal of punishment from the gods of the land. Now, let's speak to Adum News correspondent Augustine Bois for some updates. Augustine, first tell us the nature of this community and what is the major occupation over there?
So, Sekiwenchi is predominantly a farming community. It's about 50 kilometers away from the Bibiani and Yasobekwai municipal capital, which is Bibiani. The people over there are prominently farmers, like I said. The population over there is about 2,000 to 3,000 people.
I mean, so how is the situation now in the community? Has the sheep been taken away?
Yeah, like you said, in fact, the residents say they now live in fear and panic because they've not seen such incidents before. Though they've been experiencing some deformities when their animals give birth, but not to this extent. So I speak now, the people there, they explain that they are now in fear and panic. That if animals are giving birth to such giving birth in such situation, likewise, humans can also, give birth to babies with deformity.
Augustine, thank you very much for that update. But some residents of Sefiwenchi have also been speaking to us. Well, we'll bring you that later on. But we are also joined on the phone by pathologist and head of the KNUST School of Medicine, Professor Paul O.C. Sampeni. Prof, thank you very much for joining us. You've been working in this area extensively. Are you surprised about what we are hearing from the Bibiani regarding these sheep with horrifying defects?
Well, thank you so much. I've said it before and I'm repeating, I'm not surprised at all.
I mean, but what could be the possible case of this anomaly and what can we do to avert future occurrence?
It will take time, whatever it is, once you stop what you are doing and try doing the right thing. I think the other time I spoke with you, what I did say was that when you consume some of these things by way of either inhaling or eating or drinking, it takes a longer period. For half-life of some of these heavy metals is quite extensive. That is, when you say half-life, what it means is that when you consume such pollutants or contaminants, for the half of it to leave your body, some of them will take about 20 years, others take 10 years, 15 years, others may stay perpetually. Do you understand? So it depends on what type of metal that one has ingested or inhaled or drunk. Do you understand? So based on that, we just need to change our ways of doing things. And so that is the only clarion call that I can give you. That we need to change the way we do things. Otherwise, some of these children and some of these young ones that we are giving birth to will perpetually will have to live with these deformities for the rest of their life. Especially those who probably will be able to make it. As in if their is such that is compatible with life, then they may survive and they'll continue suffering some any form of kidney diseases, liver diseases, heart diseases, brain, and so on and so forth. So basically, that is what is awaiting us as a country.
And Doc, by the things that we should change, I'm sure you're referring to the illegal mining activities happening in that community.
Well, I can hardly hear. I didn't hear exactly.
Yeah, I mean, but you said we should change certain things. And I'm saying by those things, I'm sure you are referring to the illegal mining activities happening in that area.
Well, you see, I have said the time with that number. that when you look at the scent of some of these heavy metals, namely mercury, lead, cyanide, cadmium, and all those heavy metals that are used in the extraction of gold, once you are within that community, not only in the community, that is, of course, somebody will say that why was it that maybe the person lives somewhere closer, they will have the branch of the whole thing. But those of us who live in Accra, those of us who live in Kumasi, those of us who live in the central region or whatever, if you don't drink directly from those water sources, you may inhale from the water, from the air, which is circulating all over the world, all over Ghana. You may buy cassava, like I kept saying. You may buy cassava, and you don't go and ask where is the cassava coming from. Is it contaminated with what? And then you eat it, and maybe you may have the disease. So animals like humans, we are all the same. Whatever we eat, animals do eat some, except that they eat in a different form, isn't it? And then whatever we drink, they don't discriminate exactly whether the water is heavily polluted or brown or dark or whatever. They drink it. So, but the air, all of us breathe the same air. So you can imagine what is happening, my brother. It is not something that we have to joke with. Ghana, we are not. As it were. We are not angry enough as some of these things are concerned. We are playing with it.
Prof, finally though, what are the chances of survival for both humans and animals with, conditions like this?
Are you saying how do they survive?
Yeah, what are the chances of survival for, humans and animals with conditions like this?
No. As for survival, depending on the morphologies there, from what I'm seeing and from what these goats or sheep, pigs, I've never seen it. But the one that I've seen, they are all incompatible with life, the humans. Yeah, and they cannot survive with it because if you have those conditions that have come across, these babies cannot survive. They are incompatible with life. They cannot survive. They will not survive. They will just, by all means, some of them, in fact, basically, let me tell you, some are having what we call stillbirth or abortion, inevitable abortion. So there are some people who get pregnant around those areas and beyond and abort those babies without knowing that as a result of some of these things that they are aborting the babies and becomes habitual abortionists. Yeah, that is not saying that that's what they want. They abort and abort and abort and abort. So some of these things will not allow normal development of the fetus. And those can resist and go beyond that, and then they grow or develop into their mother. They develop with all manner of defects, and some of the defects are the ones that I've been working on.
Well, Prof, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate your time. Well, let's get back to some residents of Sefi Wenchi who have been speaking to us about this very development.
I
have not seen this before. I was giving birth in this community and not seen something like this. I'm really shocked and afraid. A sheep with two heads? It is really frightening. I have not seen something like this in my life, that a sheep will give birth to an offspring with strange features. I'm really afraid.
Na want to mean sorry na me crampo de na me say wa wumpo enso sa na onwu yenti na me hu ya me basa
me hu ni say eye sunsanso ana say ohawa ebeba yanso enam galamsey aye ni because
I believe the galamsey has contributed to this deformity. After consuming the chemicals, we urge the government to intervene, else it can be extended to humans, and it won't be a surprise.
The ebetimi possible say galamsey na omutu no hanti yebesere say abanhwe na galamsey no obetimi atususa na emboa yesa ebetimi asi nipa mu so enyanwanwa.
Well, on that note, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back with business. Please do stay.
Hello, welcome. Let's do some business now with me, Emma Davis. Mobile money stands out as the predominant channel in Ghana's payments landscape, according to the 2023 KPMG West Africa Banking Industry Customer Survey, with 66% of respondents reporting weekly usage. Despite a substantial move towards digital channels, the country remains predominantly a cash-based economy. Here's more.
The ease of transferring money between accounts and mobile wallets emerged as the most important experience metric for retail customers. Notably, certain banks refrain from imposing fees on their customers for transferring funds between their mobile money wallet and bank account, fostering convenience. Additionally, there was an uptick in customers utilizing financial technology platforms. 16% of the respondents indicated using fintech platforms weekly, up from 10% in 2022. 53% of the respondents reported using their bank's mobile app at least once a week, a 3 percentage point increase from last year. The USSD platform's penetration also continued its upward trajectory, evidenced by growth in weekly customer usage. Presently, 28% of respondents use their bank's USSD platforms weekly. Despite a substantial move towards digital channels, Ghana remains predominantly a cash-based economy. A significant 32% of respondents indicated weekly ATM usage, emphasizing the importance of 24/7 cash availability at these machines, which ranks as the second most crucial metric for retail respondents.
A banking consultant, Nanotwe Champon, is optimistic loan quality in the coming months will improve by the end of the first quarter of the year. His comments follows Fitch Solutions' prediction of a further deterioration in loan quality, although banks will try to improve their loan books. Speaking to Joy Business, Nanotwe Champon said high inflation and high interest rates accounted for the decline in loan quality.
It has to get a little bit worse before it gets better. Now, the high inflation rate, the high interest rate have not helped. The Ghana Association of Banks released the Ghana reference rate this morning, which is at 32%. Now, you then have to add the risk premium of the various lenders, which ranges between 2 and 7%. So at the tail end of 7% for, say, a typical SME, that is putting interest rate around 40%. That is very high, and therefore it will take some time until the rates start coming down. Things can really get worse, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel that things will get better once we go through the end of the first half of the year. The loan quality has deteriorated to some extent, but it can get better once the policy rate starts coming down in tandem with inflation rate. Then it will force the Ghana reference rate to also come down, which will mean that new borrowings will receive a better traction than existing or old borrowing. So I think General Fish has got it right that it has to get a little bit worse before it starts getting better. And I can foresee that, although I'm not in the prediction mood, that by the end of the second half, things would have picked up for the better.
Away from the banking industry, the Dean of the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Justice Baole, is blaming the low productivity in the public sector on high job security. According to him, the process of laying off staff in the private sector makes it easier for individuals to put out their best to secure their jobs. Reacting to a new human resource report by the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management, Professor Baole said productivity can improve if proper systems are put in place for employing or laying off staff in the public sector.
Turnover, we actually saw that the government sector has less turnover. In other words, people are not leaving the government sector as fast as they leave the other areas. So if you check, for example, mining had a very high turnover rate. I was asking the gentleman that did the report about, for example, the hospitality sector, which is one of those areas that has very high turnover. But the government sector has, if you like, a certain level of security. It is also perhaps one of the reasons why productivity may be low, because it's so difficult to take away a staff in the public sector as compared to what would happen in the private sector, such that if somebody wasn't giving off their best, it is easy in the private sector to dispense of them. In the public sector, it's much more difficult. And so you are likely to have a lower return on investment in the public sector than it is in the private sector, because people feel very secured, and as a result, they may not give out their best.
That'll be all for business. For more business news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emma Davis. Have a good day. But up next is sports. Please stay.
This is sports now on Joy News today with me, Muftao Nabila. Abla Asante Kotoko midfielder Richmond Lamte has described his call-up to the Black Stars for the upcoming African Cup of Nations as a dream come true. Speaking after he was named by Chris Hilton in Ghana's 27-man squad for the tournament, Lamte said it has always been a goal to play for the senior national team.
Growing up, it was in mind that I wanted to play, especially for the Black Stars, and for me to be included in the 27-man squad, it's an honor, and I'm very happy. Well, it's a dream come true, and I would like to say, giving up is not an option, because we know we all know what I went through. Yeah, no, I'm not going to disappoint them, and I really thank them, and they should keep on supporting me.
Former Black Stars assistant coach Maxwell Konodo says the major challenge of the senior national team is the mentality of the players. Speaking on the AM show, the former Asante Kotoko head coach noted that with the right character and mentality, the players will do well in Côte d'Ivoire.
We are not ahead of anybody. Forget about our players playing here, there, forget. We are not ahead of anybody. They are not also ahead of us. Let's prepare well and go and beat everything that comes our way. Me, I believe with good preparations and with good mentality, we can do it. You see, at this stage, it's not about, you didn't get that luxury time to prepare. But with character and hard work, you can go far.
With character and hard work?
How many days can you prepare for this tournament? You get maximum 10, 12 days. The tournament is starting already. So it's up to us to prepare very well, mentally. The AFCON, majority of our problem is mental. Ghanaians talk, and when they talk, the players, they hear. They have their families here. So mentally, the team must be ready. Honestly speaking, mentally, the team must be ready.
That's your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. The news continues with Razak Musbah.
Now, newly adored paramount chief of the Jirapa traditional area, Na Dina Donglabon Ghana III, has expressed worry over the municipality's inability to tap into the rich tourism and educational potential in order to propel the development of the area. Speaking at his outdooring at Jirapa, the 41-year-old educationist pledged to work assiduously to ensure that the traditional area wake up from its slumber and return to its glory days. Joy News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Jirapa.
The outdooring of Na Dina Donlobon Ghana III, known in private life as Jesus Donlobon Dina, came on the heels of his overwhelming endorsement by the 7 recognized kingmakers of Jirapa. Na Dina Donlobon Ghana III holds a master's degree in mathematics education from the University of Cape Coast and currently the in charge of culture and language studies at the Jirapa Municipal Office of the Ghana Education Service. He also served as the personal secretary and regent to his predecessor, Na Ansole Ghana II. The colorful ceremony was attended by people from all walks of life, including paramount, division and sub-chiefs from the traditional area and beyond, queen mothers, heads of decentralized departments in the municipality and the region, sons and daughters of the traditional area.
Well, that's all we have for you on News Today with me, Razak Musbah. We have more stories on myjoyonline.com. Up next is the marketplace for Darkwa. Please to stay.